Hello everyone. So today we are going to cover lines. Lines are the first fundamentals of drawing, the very first fundamental. Like a musician can tell a difference between a professional and an amateur musician is by a couple of notes, an artist can tell a difference between an amateur and a professional artist by how they may draw a line. Your line doesn't have to be absolutely straight, but it has to be confident. By confident I mean it shouldn't be like this. Don't draw like this. Yeah. And also not like this. These two you should avoid. Even if your line overshoots, it has to be confident. Like this, or this, or this. So, what are the things that why are we studying line? Why are we covering something so basic? Well, it's simple. Lines can convey many things. It can convey mood, it can convey texture, and it can also convey lighting. You can convey these three things and even some more things with just line. Let's talk about mood first. Here's a line, here's another line, and here's another line. If I had to ask you which is the most unstable line, most of your answer would be this. If I have to ask you which is the second most unstable line, it would be this. And if I ask you what is the most stable line, it would be this. So any composition or any drawing with lots of horizontal lines will have a stable calming mood. A vertical drawing will have a middle ground between calm and unstable, and a diagonal line will mean fast, sharp, unstable. Okay, now let's go over how you are supposed to hold the pen and what muscles you are supposed to use. And trust me, it's important. Usually, when we hold a pen or pencil, we hold it like this on a 45-degree angle mostly. What we want is to hold a pen like this at 90-degree angle or close to 90-degree angle. But 90-degree angle would be nice, would be best for this practice. Why? Because it helps you lock your wrist. This is a hand, a very crude representation of a hand. You want to lock your wrist and you want to lock your elbow. Don't move these when you are making your first big marks. For example, if you are drawing lines like these, you are to use your wrist, not fingers, wrist. Lock your fingers. And when you are making bigger lines, use your elbow. So these are from wrist, this is from elbow. And these see some of these, I mean all three of these, two of these are wobbly, but they are confident and still better than these lines. You don't want these chicken scratchy lines, and you don't want to micromanage. Okay, this one came out a bit better because I have lots of practice. So here's what we are going to do. We are going to practice making lines. These exercises these are warm-up exercises. And you should do these for 10 minutes every time before starting your artwork. The first exercise is to make parallel lines. Hold your pen at 90 degrees and make parallel lines. After horizontal, you'll go vertical. This one came out so nice. This either. After these, draw two dots and join them. It will take some practice. This was a warm-up to a warm-up. After you draw a couple of these lines, you will realize that you are better at making at a certain angle. For example, for me, this 30-degree angle is easier to draw at. So every time I have to draw something, in traditional medium at least, I rotate my canvas. Now, the next thing I told you was texture, which we are going to cover in later videos. We are going to leave that for now. Lighting. Lighting. Now you must be thinking how we can tell lighting with just the lines. Let me show you. So here is a circle. One day we'll be able to make a perfect circle. And this is another circle. If I have to ask you where the light in this one is coming from, it is hard to tell. It's a uniform circle. But this circle, if I darken one side, and by darken I mean thicken line on one side, thin apart, thick apart. So you can easily tell that in this circle light is coming from this direction, and in this circle we cannot tell because it's of uniform thickness. So next exercise that we are going to do is to go from thin to thick. I'm using a graphic tablet and they are really good for thin to thick to for pressure sensitivity mostly. Then thick to thin, then in circle thick to thin. Don't worry about the roundness of the circle, just don't go like micromanaging. You have to be confident. These are not perfect circles, they don't have to be. After horizontal lines, after circles, go for vertical lines. This thin to thick and thin and thick to thin, you need this. As long as you are able to vary your thickness, with line alone you can make impressive drawings. Now, line can also be used to show depth. Here's a cube. Wait, we are not covering shapes and forms in this lecture. We are going to cover them in another one. And there is a triangle. If I have to ask you, wait, I should not have formed a cube. Let's start again. Here's a square and here's a triangle. If I have to ask you which one is more towards you, which one is sitting in front of the other, you won't be able to tell. But if I thicken the line of the square, then we can easily say that the square is more towards us. So that's how you show depth with line. So what we covered line exercises, we covered thickness, lighting, and depth. So these all things you can show from just line. Line is very important. Line and shapes. These two things are overlooked because they are not considered as important, at least by the beginner artist. Because let's be honest, drawing a couple of lines, varying the thickness, it's not the most fun part. We want to make cool drawings, like mechas or creatures and cars. But if you want to draw confident, the keyword is confident, not perfect. If you want to draw confident, you need to have confidence in your line. So draw circles of varying sizes, varying thickness, lines of varying thickness, varying length. Do one page of simple lines, horizontal, vertical. Draw one page of varying thickness and draw one page of circles. This will give you nice control over lines that you absolutely need to move forward. You don't have to be completely, absolutely perfect at it, but you should be confident in your line making skills. So this was about lines, and I'll see you tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, when we cover shapes. Yeah, shapes. So this is Mohit. See you day after tomorrow.